So this is a very important video, though specifically for Peugeot users. It's about engine cooling system fan issue that people might not know they have, especially those that their electric fan connections are same factory. But some reasons they are realizing something is wrong. The fan seems to be working weird or abnormal, even though they can't actually tell what the problem is. So I don't know about other brand of car. It could be related, but at least pay attention and listen to the end of the video. Maybe you might apply some or whatever I say here in this video, and it might solve the problem. So what I'm referring to is those that still have their fan factory connected, that the fan comes up automatically when the engine cooling system needs it to run, and then the fans will go off. Or when you put on AC, it comes on, regulate itself. But what I'm referring to now is a situation where without the AC, notice your fan comes up usually sometimes at low speed. You might not even know or hear the sound of the fan. But as soon as you switch on your AC, immediately it comes up at high speed and stay on that high speed that even while you're inside the car, you are hearing the fan blasting at high speed as if you bypass the fan. You know how those that bypass their fan factory connection, immediately they switch on ignition or start the engine, it stays very high. So if you start behaving that way, but when you switch off your AC and run the car without AC, you barely observe that your fan is even running, even when it comes up. So doesn't mean with the AC that your high speed won't come up at some point, but you could tell that uh maybe at some point you now realize that whenever you switch on your AC, it doesn't matter the ambient temperature, immediately it will go straight to high speed. Now some things can cause it, but pay attention to what I'm going to say so that you understand. This doesn't apply to all Peugeot cars like 406. No. Some other Peugeot car, but this cars like 407, 308, 508, 3008, 207, or any Peugeot car, let me put it a different way, any Peugeot car that the factory AC compressor comes with two connectors, like what Nigerians call socket, electrical connectors, that it has two, or what they also refer here locally as plug. It has two connectors, two plug, as in where you socket or you plug in, a wiring connector. So, if yours have that factory setup, and for some reasons you now go and buy, in the process of changing your compressor, you probably may not be aware. Now, the technician that is doing the work decided to put a compressor that comes with only one connector, which they regard as manual compressor. However, it's not all compressor that comes with one connector. It's actually regarded as manual. I know I've seen, was it 508 or 3008 that has only one connector? I think it was 3008, only one connector. But that one connector is still the automatic one, which you regard as pivoted compressor. But I'm saying on average, especially all 407s, I think 307 have that same setup, if I'm not mistaken. I'm trying to remember, I think so. And 308 and the rest. When they come with, if you now go and buy one with only one connector and put, instead of two, IC compressor with two connectors, you buy and put only one. Or you go and do that thing what Nigerians do. Usually they will go and do that manual, they open up the compressor and do some adjustment inside the compressor, the one that those piloted compressor, or the ones that come with two, or the one they regard as sensor, that's a compressor that come with additional connector, which is gas sensor. I'm going to show you that later. And they do that thing and couple it back and say, oh, it's now manual compressor. If you run that connection without connecting that second one, which is basically the solenoid attached on this compressor, what is going to happen is immediately you switch on your AC, boom, your fan, engine cooling fan, will go straight to high speed and stays there. If not, at least most of the time the AC is running, it's going to stay there. Now let me show you what I'm referring to. This is actually the solenoid, but they call it as a sensor, But at least you could find, that in most of these cars I mentioned that comes with this kind of compressor design. Yeah, you'll find something like this on it. Now there's 50, is it 508 or 308? I'm trying to remember. There was one that has 300 that has only the compressor actually has only one connector. Because when compressor have two connectors, it means one will be directly behind the compressor pulley. That's the one that goes straight to the coil behind the pulley. And then another one will be behind the compressor, which is what we are looking at now. So you can see this black thing, that is the that's where the connector goes in. So almost just like I said, from 307, 407, all those Peugeot cars produced from especially 2004 upward. I can't remember the T5 307, that's the first production or facelift 307, whether all of them have this type of compressor. They probably don't. Maybe they are just like 406 compressors. I just don't remember. But I know from T6 upward, yeah, they will have this pivoted. I want to be sure. Anyway, I'm not sure, but check. You always find that when you get closer, just look under or go under the car. Towards your compressor, you see two connectors. Even if one is not plugged in, there, if you see two, that yours is actually part of what I'm referring to on this video. So, if you do not connect this solenoid, your fan is going to go straight to high speed. If you buy the compressor that doesn't come with this solenoid, even though the vehicle has a connector for that solenoid, and you mount it, of course, you start this thing, they'll do it in such a way that I think they introduce relay to be able to power the compressor without the solenoid attached. It depends, it's not all the time anyway. So when they do that, even at that, once you put on your AC, boom, your fan stays. The implication is over time, your fan, if you're always on AC, it will weaken your fan. It will just be like you are running a direct connection, because your fan, reason why it's doing this is your engine ECU has sensed something is wrong. That something is wrong with your compressor or something, as in. So what you now do is just push the because the engine ECU that controls this fan, depending on the setup, some to the AC control module. The most important thing is ECU is what will make the fan to start spinning very high, because it's supposed to sense this and it's not sensing it anymore. So that's one of the advantages, especially 407 users. They are the ones that might understand what I'm saying. You always hear them say, oh, manual your compressor, remove your 407 compressor, put 406 compressor. This is the consequence of what you are going to get when you do that. Or you go and remove that automatic setup, remove that, do whatever they do inside. This is one of the consequences. The only thing I know is, if you do that, as long as the solenoid is still attached, and then you plug in the solenoid, I don't think you experience that. Even though the solenoid is no longer working with the compressor, but your fan will still maintain that normal low speed. I think I've tested it and confirmed. I'm just not sure which vehicle have done that. So in that case, it might not be all Peugeot cars that may have that same. That's you might be able to stay running even though you've altered the compressor setup, but your fan will still work as if nothing is wrong with your compressor, even though if it's no longer piloted or automatic, as you say. We call it here in Nigeria. So, but if you are not changing the compressor and decide to buy completely the one without solenoid, even though your car needs that solenoid to plug in, then perpetually this is what you're going to be suffering. So now somebody say, oh, does it mean does this happen it means your fan, your compressor have been bypassed. Now there are a few ways to confirm if this is actually the cause. That's because of what is done on your compressor. Is it what's causing your fan to be spinning high speed immediately you switch on your compressor, your AC. Of course, the best way is to go down and look at your compressor. It's just the fastest. It might not be the fastest, depending. Maybe your engine has all this metal protector under. Whether metal or plastic is irrelevant. But so in that case, for you to see your compressor, you have to go under, jack the car, lose that thing. So it might not be that easy. But if you're under the vehicle is actually, as in nothing is there, you can always go under, but still you may need to jack your car. Or depending on the model of your car, your compressor might easily be accessible from under the bonnet. So you may not need to go under. You will always see that the second connector, whether it's plugged in or not. It will be somewhere around the compressor. Another easy way to find out if yours, this is the cause of it, is to plug in a scan tool. When you plug in a scan tool, like when I mean professional scan tool, not just a generic scan tool. When you plug in a professional scan tool like PP2000, Diagbus, or something similar, what you're going to get is you go to BSI unit or BSM. Either of these two options, your ECU, because basically they are ECU, so you scan them. When you scan them, you see if it pops up something like piloted AC compressor, open circuit, something like that. Yeah, that's what it means. Even though your AC compressor comes up, but if it's telling you something piloted compressor, you see something like that piloted, or you might use a different word depending on the scanner you are using. But once it shows something about compressor, like I said, it has to go and scan either or both. If your car has the two options, sometimes depending on the vehicle model, you can only access BSM from the BSI unit, while the two options will be there. So you can scan each of the module separately. And in fact, it's not just depending on the BSI. It also could depend on the scan tool you are using. There's some scan tool that for you to access, or what's it called? The program on the scan tool, or the like PP2000. There are some of them that depending on the update that you are running on your laptop of that PP2000, you can only access BSM to BSI. So when you scan it, just remember that any of these two, BSM, BSI, scan both if it's there, or scan only one. You will see that if once you see that piloted this thing, clear the fault, switch on your AC, switch it off, scan it again. Once it keeps showing you something piloted AC or compressor wrong or something similar, you just see something compressor. I'm not talking about, don't go to engine ECU. That's not where you see this. Go to your BSI, because if you say compressor, you might go and scan your engine ECU. If it's a turbo engine, you see your dump valve might come up there, because sometimes it shows it as if it use the word compressor, something like that, to now assume that we are referring to AC compressor. No. The dump valve can sometimes they refer it as a compressor something using diag bus. But when you go to BSI or BSM, if you see anything compressor, even though it's running, then you have this problem. That is the most likely the cause. Now, depending on the car model, something else that can cause it, like your AC control module, your for example, if it's 307, it could be your fan resistor, fan relay. Of course, if it's 406, your resistor or relay can do that. But the reason why I'm not referring to 406 doesn't have this compressor that comes with 2 connectors. So in that case, if you're having this problem, it has nothing to do with your compressor. It's talking about cars that comes with 2 connectors. 406 is only one from factory, so you don't have to bother about it if you use 406. That is petrol engines. So in that case, yeah, it could be your relay or this, but the easier way to find out if that is without scan tool. Of course, if you use a scanner and scan, professional scan tool, it will still tell you that its compressor is not the problem. In that case, go to your engine ECU. That's where you know whether the issue is being caused by your AC, your fan resistor, your engine cooling fan resistor, or the relay, or the control module. Like 508, it has one special type of control module with resistor as part of it. Likewise, 301 and the rest. All these cars I'm mentioning, just know that from 2004 upward, any car, Peugeot car, you basically will have this kind of AC compressor setup. And so, from there, you know, okay, oh, it's actually caused by this. Or another easy way to find out, if you don't have any professional scan tool, start the vehicle, do not put on your AC. Let the engine run, leave it to at idle, let it run 30 minutes, 1 hour, however how long it takes for the fan to come up on its own without running your AC. So in that case, it's only, again, all this I'm saying are for those that their car wiring systems or their AC, or engine cooling fan wiring connections are say factory, not those that bypass it, that immediately you switch on ignition, fan comes up, or you start your vehicle, fan comes up until you switch the engine off. No, talking about those that everything is say factory as far as their engine cooling fan is concerned. So start your vehicle, leave it to run until your fan comes up. So if your fan comes up on its own without AC and starts from that low speed, you know what I mean by low speed. Those, if you use Peugeot, you should know what I mean. Modern Peugeot car with electric fan factory. If you use it, you should understand what I mean. Meaning, the fan, when it starts low speed, you won't even hear it. Only that you can, when you look through the AC, the vent or front grill, you see your fan spinning. Or if you pay very close attention while the engine is running, yeah, you can hear the spinning of the fan, whining a little. But if you're inside the car, you will know that your fan is running. Unless if the engine is very hot and your door is open, when it starts spinning at that low speed, you may start feeling the breeze, hot breeze, passing through the door. Other than that, you have to be very close to or open your bonnet to actually see your fan spinning. Depending on the model, some fans are behind the radiator, some in front of the condenser. So in the ones in front of the condenser, you might not see it. You have to peep through your front grill to see that. So in that case, if your fan starts spinning at low speed without AC, then you know, okay, your problem is not your fan resistor, your fan relay, or fuse, whatever. But if it comes up without AC, immediately it gets to temperature where your fan comes up automatically, and it still starts on that high speed, just the same way it does when you switch on your compressor. Then your issue is not necessarily your compressor. It could still be that they did that abuse on the compressor, but in that case, you have to have more problems. It could also be that your compressor also issue is there. and then your fan resistor also. So meaning that even if you fix your fan relay, fan resistor, or whatever that is making it to come up without AC at high speed, you still have to deal with that compressor. And how will you know if your compressor also have that issue? Scan the vehicle or go down physically and check. Like I said, if you have a 407, all this, if you have a 4, forget it. It has to. So if you look at your compressor and saw only one connector there, then you'll be having this problem. You'll be having this problem. So now that doesn't mean it's the same thing with those that bypass or abuse their engine cooling fan. No, because this one has nothing to do with your engine cooling fan. It's just that the engine issue is reacting to the absence of connection to this solenoid on your compressor. So it's not your fan that is misbehaving, even though this can actually affect the lifespan of your fan because it's been running mostly on higher speed. So all you now need to do is, if your compressor uh, still has that two connectors, that this solenoid is still there, but it's not connected because they bypass it, you could go and try and connect it first. If the connector should be there, unless somebody stupidly went and cut it off. So reconnect it, it might solve that problem. Yeah, it might solve it. What I mean, your fan might start acting, because like I said, once your AC, your fan, your ECU notice that the connector is still back on, most likely that fault will go away, because what is triggering this fan at high speed is that fault that popped up on engine on your BSI or BSM, which communicates with engine ECU as well. So what that happens then, but if it continues, then you just have to change the compressor. It all depends on the model of vehicle. So don't take it that I'm saying, oh, if your 508 has this type of issue, if you plug it in, that your own refuse to run at low speed, that I was wrong. No, what I'm saying, I've tested it on other cars, and I think it was 407, and it worked. Yeah. So the only thing I would say as an expert is try as much as possible to use, if your vehicle is recommended for piloted compressor, piloted AC compressor, meaning it will have that solenoid, or what Nigerian regard as compressor with sensor. Fine, whatever I want to call it. If that's the design of your engine wiring system to work with such compressor, put that kind of compressor. If you don't have it, then start working towards it. Or you deal with your fan running at high speed, meaning that over time it will weaken your fan and your fan will fail. It's as simple as that. So if it was my vehicle, I would do it. Remember, there was a time I did a video where my compressor was leaking. That of my Z9 compressor was leaking. I gave it to somebody, and to fix the leakage, which had nothing to do with the part of the compressor. The leakage was at the other end of the compressor, around the pulley, where this solenoid is actually behind the compressor. This solenoid is actually from that my Z9 compressor. So he was done with the fixing. He now went and started doing what I didn't ask him. He said, oh, he wanted to do me a favor, so he now converted it from automatic to manual. I didn't even know. I thought I was there. But because, something you're not an expert in, you believe, oh, the expert is doing his thing, so let him do his thing. Only for him, when he was done, he was not saying, oh, I've done, oh, you can go with your compressor. And now I've done it so that now you enjoy this compressor now. I've turned it from automatic to manual. I went crazy, because the compressor was chilling perfectly for years, no issue. Only problem was that leakage. If I put in gas, maybe 2 months, 3 months max, sometimes I may not get to 3, depending on the gas I put. Some leaks faster, some stays a little bit longer, but 2 months before it leaks out again. So I was like, since it's chilling well, I wouldn't mind to just be using it like that. Every 2 months or so, I'll put another gas. so that I won't go and start messing with something that is working, at least to some extent. At a point, no, I think let me just fix this leakage and be done with it. So who told you that my my compressor is, I'm not enjoying it just because I asked you to fix this small leakage? One small sale that costs about 1,000 naira, if not, I think either 1,000 or 2,000 max. You've damaged my compressor now that cost, at that time was 50,000 naira to get another used one. I don't even know how much it is today. So he did that manual conversion, and I immediately knew what he has basically killed that compressor, because all the people that done it in full self, they don't chill well. So I see, even though, because the same compressor in Z9 that I find in full 7, I put it on my Z9 and my fear was confirmed. Wasn't chilling well anymore. In fact, hot afternoon, I basically would be sweating with the AC running. So I've already, at that month, that day, that was when in fact, even before I remounted the compressor, I told myself I had to start looking for another compressor. Yeah, he killed it. Right there. If I had known, I would have kept using it the way I was using it. So I will advise you. I know this video is taking longer than I actually expected, but do not go and do that manual conversion. If your car has that pivoted system, don't do it. The system has been designed that way. It's better for you. Anyway, you can do what you want, but if it's already they put that manual one and it's chilling, I'm not saying it's bad thing, but I'm saying at least know there's a consequence you have to, you know, face and deal with. But some people might not even know that there's actually a problem. It's just like, I always say, if you pay attention to your car, it's always trying to tell you something. Every moment the engine is running or the car is in motion, pay attention. It's trying to teach you something, but people don't until the car breaks down. Because if you're paying attention, you know that, but my car before, if I switch on AC, I barely even hear the sound, unless, once in a while, the fan will shout a little, then goes down again. But now, almost every time I put on the AC, the fan is shouting. You're supposed to know. But people don't know until your fan stop working completely, because that's what will eventually kill your fan. Okay, so I hope this video makes sense, so that you'll be able to save yourself the headache of, especially, no, some fans now are not easily available, like 475 might not easily get it. So do everything you can to minimize your fan running at maximum capacity, so that, because the more it stays on maximum capacity, the more it weakens it. Okay, so hope this makes sense.